How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we've got the one of my games from my locals, and I've decided to kind of update my content because I know people like someone. There's one person I know that keeps constantly suggesting it, so I've decided to put it in, and I have my deck list that I played for these games. So here's a deck list. You can see a more in-depth deck profile that I put out on Monday, detailing deck and like the card choices and stuff like that. So if you want more in-depth look at this list and kind of understand it a bit more, go check that out. Otherwise, it's just a quick look at the list that I played for the event, and I don't have the list for my opponent's list because I don't grab them. I don't basically think to ask or forget, and by the time it's over, they've gone. So I don't have to leave my opponent's list, but here is my list I use for this game. So enjoy. So here we are with round 3 of the locals, and this is the last round because apparently it cut short. I think we had 9 people in the locals, and one of the people dropped after round 1. So it ended up being going from 4 rounds because we're over 8 to then just 3 rounds because we are at yeah, exactly 8. So we've got this to be in the final round, and I'm against another Qira, and this one is with Sam. So Sam is one of the players who comes down locally, plays a variety of decks, and he's a pretty good player. And he's playing Qi'ra Green, and with the what I think was it, the 30 health base with Maz Kanada's. He's not playing ELC. He's playing a 30 health base with Maz Kanada's Castle. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm here with my Boba Yellow deck. So I think this is the only game from the locals that I won the die roll. So I called it out of odds and evens and managed to have the initiative, so I can go first. And here we go. We're going to start and see what we do. So the reason why I've got commentary on these games is because upstairs for the second 2 games we're upstairs, and it's very loud with the Lorcana and Magic guys. It's very loud. And rather than hear barely any sound from us, because you can't really hear us, and like lots of background noise, if I would do commentary instead, because it'd be more interesting to kind of understand what we're going through and what was happening. So for turn 1, I didn't have a turn 1 play, even though I mulliganed, and I think I mulliganed and went first. But Sam went ahead and dropped his Hydabon Enforcer turn 1, so you could put a shield on it, do damage. So with Grit, it goes to a 3 power unit, and it's got shields that's protected, and it does have a bounty which I can claim if I manage to take it out. And I'm just going to take initiative because I've got no play. And for the next turn, so since I got initiative, I can go first. So I go ahead and drop Bodhi Rook, drop him down, so I can look at his hand and see if there's any events or upgrades and discard them. And I see he's got Overwhelm Barrage. I take that out. I think that's the only event in his hand, so I straight up take that out because that's a very annoying event. And instead of going straight for my base, he goes ahead and just takes out Bodhi, just gets off the board because his problem unit takes it out, and loses the shield on his Hydabon Enforcer, but fair enough, he doesn't lose it, and I don't gain the bounty, but he does manage to take out my unit. Control board is a bit more key. And along with that, he also goes ahead and drops a Pike Sentinel and another Hydabon Enforcer. So he can't put the shield on the second Hydabon Enforcer yet, because he used all three of his resources up to play those 2 cards, but he can this turn. He did accidentally almost play the he did almost accidentally put down the Gideon Husk, but we corrected that. So once again, I took the initiative because I had nothing to do after swing with Bodhi. So here I'm going to start with a Cunning, and I'm going to tap both his Hydabon Forces. And he was asking about if I was going to bounce back the Pike Sentinel, but there's no point in doing that. So I don't have a turn 1 cost play. So rather than do that, I tap 2 his units, the 2 Hydabon Forces, and then I'm going to go ahead and discard a card and hit that Gideon. Which Gideon isn't going to be as impactful because you need to turn the player out and then drop it, which I can keep bouncing and stuff like that. So that was a good hit, but then not the best. And then he goes out and plays a Hydabon Enforcer and then uses Qira's effect to put 2 damage on his shields. He's got a fair few units, so I'm in trouble already. He's got a lot of units on board, a lot of power, but he's been controlling my board rather than go for a base, so I don't need to worry too much about that. I'll be more worried if he's going for my base and throwing damage on there because I can't hit. Unlike him, I can't heal. There's no healing in yellow. But he's controlling my board, so I don't have things on the kind of controlling. But luckily, I'm able to control, like take cards. Like took out the Overwhelm Barrage out of his hand, and Cunning to kind of rip cards out of his hand. And now he's got he's only got 1 card in hand now because he is just he's been resourcing play out most of his hand, that he had no hand at the beginning of the end of the last turn. So here I'm going to go ahead and fall him, ambush, take out his Pike Sentinel because he has Sentinel, and take it out, and he's going to then trade the shield on his Harlequin Enforcer that he had to take out the finish off Lom, control the board, because it only had 2 damage, 2 health left on it. And straight after I'm going to deploy Boba, so that way I can get units that control these units, because he's not much of a hand. And by taking out these Harlequin Forces, I'm going to trigger the bounty and then start claiming some draws. So here I take out 1, take a 3 damage on Boba, but then can manage to draw a card to increase my cards in hand, so my options. And even though it's got 3 damage, I don't have a Boba's armor, so it doesn't matter that Boba is helping clear the board because these units are very cheap and very strong. And here he goes ahead and swings at everyone, loses the shield. I think he's forgotten at a moment to take the shield off. And I'm going to go ahead and play out Sabine, look at his hand, just ditches Scout Viper. Now here, yeah, he forgot the draw, but I do remind him a bit, so even though he hasn't drawn, he will remind it. Just forgot, because I didn't realise until he drew the cards and then counted to kind of like keep track, and realised he hadn't drawn the replace. Now, he hasn't deployed Qira yet, but doesn't need to worry about using Qira to take up my lead because he's doing it with the units. But I'd rather sacrifice the Boba to take out these, to take him out, because all these units can push a lot of damage on, and that's what I was worried about. So even though I'm basically going to lose my leader here, I'm still taking out his units. Now, Bazine can't really do anything to do it. Here I'm explaining that he basically should have drawn a card, replace it, because Bazine ditched his card, but it hasn't replaced it. And here, Bazine can't really take out any units because they've got 2 health, because they've got 4 health maximum, he's only put 2 damage on. So he goes ahead and swings one of them into Boba to take him out, so I get the bounty, draw a card. And if I take out the other one, I get another card as well. So he's only got 1 card, well, he has 2 cards left in hand. And here I'm going to drop down I think it's a 4-lom, take him out. It should show up what I was playing. And yeah, taking it out, and think I have, because Boba was taken out, I don't want to tap any resources, so I've managed to take it out, taking 3 damage on, so 4-lom is there still with 1 health, and I've got Bazine as well to start limiting some damage. So he can deploy Qira, which he does here. He's going to deploy Qira, now he's going to heal 4-lom for 1, and this, even though he's got Qira out, I've got the Surprise Strike to manage to take it out, so that's one thing I'll worry about Yellow, especially when I've got like a unit that can attack. Qira goes down to 4 health, like heals everything, and deals half their health as damage. So technically he healed my 4-lom by 1, and then Qira comes out as a 4. So I was able to just Surprise Strike, make use of Bazine to be the Qira killer so far in this tournament. And here he's going to just go ahead and Power Dark Side to take out my 4-lom, and then play out a Client. The Client's going to be very annoying to deal with, because being shielded is just a bit of a pain, because it means I have to attack twice, and Yellow doesn't have any like instant removal. It's all by attacking or by bouncing, and don't really want to bounce about the hang, so just play it back out again. And here he's once again resourcing. He's just got 1 card in hand, and as well as that, he's just got the Client on board. But he's got no damage on base because I haven't gone to his base. I've been controlling his board, so the Client isn't going to be healing much, but maybe just getting some little bits of chip damage on base. And here you can see I've got 1 Hotshot Blast in my resource, so I've got that whenever I need and have a unit on board. And we've both used our leaders now, so both of the leaders are inactive, and well, not available here. And I just go ahead and I was thinking about it. I can go shot in the down. I don't know what's in his hand, but there could be an event in there, and if I do Bodhi and take it out, then I've basically just stopped him from having anything to play. So I go ahead and risk it, take it out, because even then it's a 3-3 on board, make use of my resources, and manage to go ahead and rip out his Fell the Dragon, which isn't the best in this matchup. There's not many units I have that are 5 or higher power, so not a bad hit, but then still I'm taking a card up and limit his options. And he goes ahead and swings Client to base, and I drop a Cartel Spacer to put more units on board, and then also I've dropped out a Cloud Rider as well. But I do not ambush, because it'd be pointless to ambush it now, because rather than go for a Client and just knock the shield off, you can just use Qira then, put the shield back on, which is a bit of a waste there. So I just put it on just to get more units on board that he has to deal with, and can swing at base. So going to the next turn, so I've been charging up to kind of get more resources to play more things, because I've got a few more cards in hand thanks to his Harlequin Forces, because he's through all 3 and I'm actually taking all three, getting me 3 more cards. So here I think he's drawn his 2 cards in hand. Well, yeah, he's drawn his 2 cards, but he hasn't resourced. I'm not sure if he's going to resource. So I think I'm not going to bother resourcing, keeping it at 7. So then I need to go to 8 currently. So I can technically get 8 worth of resources thanks to Boba's effect if I take out as a unit. So here he's looking at what he's going to play, just keeping the cards because he's lacking options. He's got all these resources, but he's lacking options, just the fact that I'm just controlling his hand. So here he makes use of, rather than use his hand, he's going to go ahead and play out the first light. That's what it's called, first light from his resources. Play it out, and part of the smuggle is doing 4 damage to a unit. So thankfully he's got the he's got a shield on client, so he doesn't do damage to it. He just removes the shield. But it means now I can take out the client thanks to the fact that thanks to the fact that the shield's gone. So here I think I do missequence. I can get rid of the first light, because first light currently gives both the units grit. It's got grit itself, and it gives always every unit's grit. So if I do any damage to the client, that's going to make it more and more powerful. And I've got nothing that can currently take it out in one shot. So I should really deal the first light, but I don't think I do. I end up taking a bit more damage than I should have, but it's all fine because I still managed to clear the board in the end. So I go ahead and throw the Clown Rider because it's the weakest thing at 1 health to try to chip away at him to make sure I can finish him. And then he goes ahead and swings Fighter Base. I'm wondering why it's 5, because it's only got 2 power, and he basically reminds me that he's got grip, so I take more damage than I should have. And here I'm going to go ahead and waylay the first light back to its hand to get off board, get back a resource. I've still got 5 left. And now I can take out the client without losing Bodhi, which is good. So I can keep Bodhi on the board to keep swinging with, and the client is now gone. So a unit that would be really annoying to get rid of, like real pain, is now gone. And he was just reminding me, like, what, it should be 5 damage, but remembering that the first line is no longer on the board. And I've also got Cartel Space to swing with, and I drop a Bazine again. So here I get a look at his hand, and I'm going to get rid of his unit. I think I can get rid of his first light because that's a really annoying unit. Whereas the other 2, while you can still play them and are good cards, I'd rather get rid of the first light, and also just reminding him once again to draw, because Bazine doesn't lose him a card. It just discards a card, but he replaces it. And here I make use of my other 3 resources I have. I'm dropping a Boba unit. So trying to fill up the board of units, knowing they doesn't have anything board wipe. And he's going to draw 2 more cards now. But I knew some of the cards, but just making it so I've got more options, more things to swing with. So currently I have on board Cartel Spacer in the Space Arena, and in the Ground Arena I've got Bodhi, Bazine, and a Boba. So even if he uses Power Dark Side now, I can just let go Bazine because it's the weakest, and keep my ever stronger units. But I think he has resource, so he's now got 3 cards in hand, I think, or had it originally. So he's going to just go ahead and take down the Boba unit, take that out because it's the strongest one on board. Well, like best side one on board. So I'm going to just go ahead and straight away swing with Boba, while Bodhi, because he's got the most damage. Get a swing into base. Here he drops a long pike, and so now this does start give it a swing and give it shields. And even if he gives a shield to a Cartel Spacer, that's still a pretty nice one to have. And here I'm going to go ahead and ambush, I think, with a Bosk, and then I think I made a mistake where I thought I could finish off the Sentinel Pike Sentinel. I thought it was 5 health, take it out with Zine. But then here I would have finished it off anyway using the here I would have finished off anyway using Cunning, because I had enough resources for both of them. So here I would have. I got 9 resources. No, I wouldn't have had enough, which is annoying. So I did make a mistake here by not having. It should have take out long pikes. That's a big misplay there. Not realize, Sam not forgetting about both of us basically forgetting how much health long pike is, even as there. But I couldn't have been able to use Cunning to finish it off, but then I did use Cunning to rip the card from his hand, and I think power up. I can't remember what I used now. I think I ripped out a card from his hand, and I think I might have powered up. Not sure what I used the other one for. I think it bounced the card back down. I think it might have been, or powered up something. I'm not sure. But yeah, he dropped for this turn. So we go into the next turn. He drops Maul to take out my Bosk, taking 4 damage back. And here I go ahead and drop a Never Bodhi to rip the Pound Knight from his hand. So then I'm gonna swing with a Cartel Spacer, drop a Silver Fleet Defender, get some more units on board because with the Space Arena he's not really doing much with the Space Arena. So I'm gonna go ahead and put more units in. And here I forgot to put the shield token on, so I'm just offering to put the shield on. Remind me that it should be shielded. So all nice and casual with our locals, like not new like Bullshark or anything like that. Just playing the game as it should be. So here he's got Maul on board. Now he can swing through Bodhi to take it out, but he would lose Maul with the process and do less damage base. So I think he's just going to go ahead and swing straight to base, put that 7 to base rather than less to base, but take out my unit because I'm going to have to trade Bodhi anyway into Maul. And I've got some space units so I can start going from there just in case he does start building up a board in the ground arena. So here he just throws 7 straight at my base, put me closer and closer to game. So I'm currently on, what's that, 22, so I've got 8 damage. I've got 8 health left on my base, while he's still got a good 21 health left on his base. So here he goes, he drops these, what's it called? Scout by Pursuer, that's the one. So he drops that down to get some units on board. So here I'm just going to start swinging to base, get some chip damage in, because now I've got to start trying to finish all, because now it's good to the point where I'm getting closer and closer to death. 8 health left is not a good point, and not a good point for me. And I think here I'm waiting for him to eventually use Qira to put a 2 damage and a shield on one of these guys so I can bounce it back. So even though he's looks like always resources tapped, yeah, there we go, always resource look tapped, he's only paid a few. So he plays a second one, so I'm gonna go ahead and swing again into the base, another 3, so he's got 16 health. So I'm just slowly chipping away. Then he puts down his Gideon Husky's second one he drew, so Gideon is back down. But now he's got no resources left to go ahead and put a shield on him. So here I'm just going to, after dropping Fet's Fire Spray, I'm going to swing with it. Swing to put into for 5 damage, and then put another Cartel Spacer down to put. So I've got a lot of units. So I think with the units I have in my Space Arena, I've got enough to finish him off. So as long as he doesn't get over 1 barrage, I should be good to go here. So he's going to draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. He's got 2 units on, but luckily the Scout by Pursuers only do 1 damage each, and Gideon does is a 5 damage. So we're gonna see what he does. I think he's stuck to 8 resources, so he's not resourcing any more from hand, keeping the 2 cards he drew from hand. I'm trying to resourcing 1 more because I think I'm trying to work out if I can go for a game this turn and how many resources I need to go for game. Because I've got the Silver Fleet Defender with a shield on, so that's at least protected, do 3 damage. I could put it down to 8 resources left, 8 health left, and then I've got my Fet's Fire Spray and my two guys there. So here he swung with Gideon to do another 5 damage, put me down to 3 damage left. So here I'm going to use Cunning to tap both his units, and then go ahead and I think rip a card from his hand, or put 4 power on the big 4 power on the Silver Fleet Defender, so that way I've got guaranteed game there by just being able to swing with 1 unit and have that shielded unit to swing the rest. So that is game 1, because he realized that by tapping his 2 units he can't really push game when I've got enough game in there and he's got no way to deal with it. So I take game 1, and then we're going to go on and do some side decking and have a look, see what we got to side and what we're going to side in. So as we saw from my deck list at the start, this is the side deck I have. So these are the cards I have that I can side in for game 2, and also here is what I did side in for this game. So for this Qira match, it's a little bit different because I have to do a bit of testing for the first one. I'd say for this one I'm going to kind of change it a little bit. So like before, I'm going to do the exact same. I'm going to take out my shoot firsts and replace them with new adventure, because shoot first isn't going to do anything against or do anything beneficial against things that have shield. So I switch out for new adventures so I can reuse things that have on plays like Bodhi, and also like get more attacks with Fet's Fire Spray, make it so I can get more damage in. And also as well as that, switch out 1 Boba Fett's armor for a change of heart, so if they could play something big in later game, I can grab hold of it and force them either to remove it
remove their unit that I've taken or make use of it and basically have a better time of finishing them off with their big thing they've got. But the new addition I didn't do for the first Qira match in the round before, so this one, since after a bit of test, actually having the game against it from the previous one, I decided to also switch out 2 Waylays for Relentless Pursuit, because the difference being for this matchup, for this Qira list, they've got more kind of lower units to like play out, so they've got things like the, as we saw, the craft, like, I can't remember, the blue spaceship that has Sentinel. Kind of want to get out of the way so I can swing in with these space units, and also things like Pike Sentinel and other stuff as well. And even like the client, this is an easy way to deal with the client than bouncing it back to hand, because they just replay it. So I decided to put in Relentless Pursuit, because then where if they don't have the removal for things like Boba, I can put a shield in to protect them a little bit longer to make him survive out there and get more benefits from it. So I'd say to switch out my 2 Waylay I have mained for 2 Relentless Pursuits. We'll see how that goes for this matchup, and hopefully it adds a bit more benefit to the deck as well. Because even if I don't use on Boba, I can still use on other cards that have Bounty Hunter, like Vorlom, Zuckuss, or I think like Greedo and stuff. So let's see how that goes. Enjoy game 2. So we've done some siding, we've put in some cards, and even though like this is the same matchup, it's Qira again for this round, we've done a little bit different to our side decking for this one. So we've put in the extra, because Sam's list is a little bit different to Ryan's. We switched out the Waylays for Relentless Pursuit, which I probably should have done for the first game, but then just thinking about it now, that Relentless Pursuit could be very handy in getting rid of the client, managing the client easier than just bouncing it back to hand constantly, and also provide some protections to some of my cards like Boba or any of the Bounty Hunters as well. Because Relentless Pursuit will grab it, it'll still do the same thing, taking it off board temporarily. It provide a bit more benefit of making it gone so he doesn't just keep dropping it down, and also provide some benefits to some of my units depending on if they're Bounty Hunters. And even if he does get it back and defeat the unit that's captured it, it comes back without the shield, so that way it's a little bit easier to deal with then, unless he uses Qira to put a shield back on. So since I won that game, the first game, Sam's going to go ahead and take the initiative for this one, so he's gone first. So we're once again going second. Once again, get second in a game. I think it says that they've only had 1 game where I've gone first, and that was game 1 of this one. So all resourced up. Just waiting for Sam to put his resources down and decide what he's going to drop. And we're going to see how this game goes. So here he starts off with a Hydrobond Enforcer. Get that down with a shield, and I'm going to drop down a Bazine Natel. So here I'm going to just straight out take the client out. Like the space unit doesn't matter to me because it's just a space unit. I can steal that with space and bounce it back. But a client is just more of a ball ache, so I want to get rid of that. And he's going to go ahead and put a shield and 2 damage. Well, 2 damage on his unit to gain a shield thanks to Qira, and I'm going to take the initiative because I've got the next action. So Bazine is not very strong, but she's done a job. Have a look at hand. So I know he's got Super Laser Blast, which either he's going to resource or he's going to keep hold of. And if he does, that's a target for Bodhi. Just rip a card from his hand, and he's got less options in his hand. And here I'm going to drop the Bodhi. So I know he's got an event in his hand, and now I see he's got some new event. So out of the 3, he's got Follow Dragon, Overwhelm Barrage, and Super Laser Blast. And once again, Follow Dragon doesn't hit much in my deck. Like it hits Zuckuss, and it hits Fire Spray, which aren't tight sales drop until late game, kind of, and Zuckuss don't really play. Fire Spray is more late game to kind of push. So I decided to hit the Overwhelm Barrage because out of the 3, it's the one that's going to be the most annoying because it gives a power boost and can hit potentially a lot of my board, and it's a lot cheaper than Super Laser Blast. So I go ahead and rip that out of his hand, and then he goes ahead and just trades with Bodhi using the Hydrobond Enforcer to lose the shield and take out Bodhi. So at this point now I've done 1 damage to his base, and he's just managed to just manage my board. So he's just going to swing straight up 3 to my base because he had initiative. Because he didn't have much to do outside of I think he had like, I can't remember what the unit was he had, but it wasn't something he didn't have enough resources yet for the space unit. So so here we're just gonna see what we can do. I want to take out the unit, but then he's a little bit too weak. She's just 1 power off being to take it out, and even if I do swing the 1 power into it, he's going to do 3 back and take out Bazine, so I don't really want to
power it up while losing my unit and not take out the unit. So I decided to just use it straight up, use this one of my surprise strikes to just take it out. Because the thing with that is, I will lose Bazine and use up a card, so that's 2 cards I've used up to take it out, but then I will replace the surprise strike in hand by claiming the bounty to draw 1. And I'll get the resource back thanks to Boba. So here he drops his space unit because he's got is probably the only thing he can really play, like space unit or card he can play that doesn't need me to have something to kind of use on. And I just got to drop a Greedo, put some more units back on play because I think it's the only thing I could play from my hand. So we're going into the turns where now both of us can deploy our leaders. So he can deploy his leader, and I can deploy mine. But ideally, I don't want to deploy my one until after he's deployed his, but ideally he's going to leave his deploy after mine's deployed to kind of make it easier to take it out. But yeah, so here he's got the initiative. I think he's got initiative because he played out a space unit. I play out Greeno, so he's got the first action. And let's see what he does because I can't remember what he does. He's gonna drop his super laser attack. So put out a card the ramp, so I know one card's there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and Cunning, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and bounce back his space units because that way it's out of the way, less damage from that, and power up my Greedo because I don't really need to worry about anything else because I can only use each effect once. Now he could pop his super laser technician because I'm not gonna swing in or leave it for next turn to swing in. But now Greedo is a 7 power unit, so he's got good 7 power. So I'm going to hit hard for 7 to his base, put him to 8 damage on his base now. And here I did forget that should trigger Boba, but luckily I remembered, and Sam was alright with me doing it after he's killed his super laser technician with Qira. So I get the resource back. I don't think I can really use much with my resource at the moment, so I don't think I have much to play, but it's just a good drop. Now here he does the he goes ahead drops Qira, but he's just asking about a situation where like if something's boosted like temporarily and deploy Qira, they take a bit more damage, but then when it goes up down, it can drop normally, but the damage will stay on it. So like if Greedo was powered up by gain extra 1 health for the turn, and then took damage when he at the end of the turn when he loses the power like temporary boost, it'd then be defeated. So here he drops Qira, doesn't do anything Greedo because the damage rounded down, so it's not going to kill. Like anything on 1 power isn't going to die to Qira, and Qira takes the 4 damage, so she's a 4 power unit. So he's going to swing with his leader to my base, and now that he's swung with Qira and also has taking a swing, I'm going to deploy my lead and take out Qira. Now he puts down a built a Pershing, so that's a bit annoying, but if he's got nothing else on board, he has to do damage to itself to trigger the effect, draw, before I potentially take it out. So if he does that damage, I can take it out, but I'm going to untap 2 resources, and I don't think I have anything to play, or nothing to really make use of my resources that doesn't require, like, make me waste resources or cards. So I decided to just go ahead and pass after, because he played Pershing. I took out his Qira, taking 4 damage to Boba, and he took the initiative. So I need to get rid of this Pershing because I start getting cards, and I've been trying to whittle down his hand to have him have less options. So I don't want to gain more options thanks to Pershing. So I want to kind of get that out, but I don't want to really waste Boba's effect. Like I do want to take it out, but I do want to use my resources first, so I can then swing and get the 2 back. So it's risky as being greedy, but it could help in the long run. So first I'm going to see what's in his hand using Bodhi. Sorry, I keep calling him Boba. But I use Bodhi to kind of look what's in his hand. And I can see that he's got Super Laser Blast and Powered Dark Side. So I'm going to take out Powered Dark Side because that's one I can actually do something now, where Super Laser Blast he can't use because he's only on 7. So he's a turn away from being able to use it. And I know I can take it out because I've got another card that can't take it out. So I've used up the action, so now when I swing with Boba, I'm going to be able to untap 2 resources and be greedy. I know he doesn't have anything to take it out. He's got no event, so nothing that can do enough damage to take it out. And he's just checking there to see if Greedo still has the boost, but he doesn't. It was just for the last turn, I forgot to take the counter off. So here I think he's going to play his Death Stormtrooper. So he's going to do 2 damage to itself to take out Greedo. And I think I'm going to trigger Greedo to try and see if I can finish it off, but unfortunately I do not hit an event. I do not hit a non-unit, I hit a unit. So I would have loved to use it to take out Death Trooper. So here I'm going to just swing it at Pershing, take him out, get my 2 resources back. And I think here he doesn't have much else to do. I think he's got stuff to do like the client and stuff, but I'm not sure. I can't remember what he does exactly. But I think he's just asking there, like, how come Boba took 4 damage from Pershing? Just mind it wasn't from Pershing, it was from Qira the damage was. So just waiting on Sam to take his action before doing my one to try and see if I can take out the Super Laser Blast. So here he's going to put down the Space Unit again, and I'm going to use New Adventure to bounce Bodhi back to hand and back down on board, so I can rip out that Super Laser Blast. He does have the client. I'm surprised he didn't play the client, but I'm glad he didn't play the client because that's a more annoying unit to play. Because here he could potentially go use the client next turn to choose Boba, but then I would ram Boba into the Death Troop, or Bodhi into the Death Trooper to take it out, so hopefully he can't claim the bounty. But Super Laser Blast out the way now, so I don't have to worry about him destroying my board. And now it comes down to how we're going to sequence here, because you can straight up swing the Death Stormtrooper to Boba to take him out, which is inevitable. But then I can either lose that and I'll still have Bodhi. So New Adventure making some good work here, like reusing things like Boba, and well, Bodhi. I keep calling him Boba, but it's not, it's Bodhi. And my Fet's Fire Spray, like a lovely card. I love this card, just be more aggressive or be more controlling with things like on plays. So here he's going to go ahead and pay 4 for takedown to take out Boba. So rather than swing Stormtrooper, he's going to just take out Boba. And I'm thinking there's no point crashing and just go straight to base. Swing 3 damage to his base, put him down to 11 damage now. And here he's going to just go ahead and take out my Bodhi, rather than go to base just to get rid of my unit, so I just keep it there. Just going to keep using it over and over again. And here I'm going to drop my Fet's Fire Spray, so I can swing and take out his space unit. But here I forget that he's able to just go ahead and use Qira to put a shield on it, and it's a Sentinel, so I have to go through it. And I'd rather not waste using Fet's Fire Spray to go ahead and just take a shield off a unit. So I'm just going to take the initiative, knowing that I can, basically deal with the space unit a little bit easier rather than just waste putting damage on Fire Spray. So he swings to my base because might as well, since I got initiative and can't do any more actions this turn. You might as well get a swing with it, put some more damage on, put me up to 10 damage, and we're getting slowly closer to our bases. We're both over a third of the damage on our base, so both leaders used up. So now we are just trying to trade for trade. So here I'm going to go ahead and use Cunning. And one thing I don't want to do with this one unit on board is power up a unit. So I'm just going to go for discard a card from his hand and bounce back the space unit. Because otherwise, if I put 4 power on the Fet's Fire Spray after bouncing the unit, he just plays it back down. It's a Sentinel. I have to go through it. And or you can just use things like Power Light Side to take it out, and I basically lose my unit without much use. So I'm rather discard a card from hand and put back this space unit. And I'd rather do it that way rather than put the card back to his hand and then discard, because that way I don't really care about the space unit. Because like here, he played it back out and I just swung and took it out. But I'd rather go ahead and basically discard a card that I don't know is in his hand. It could be a good one. And then put back a card that I don't care about that he could play again back in his hand, rather than potentially ditch a card that I don't care about. I'd rather hit something that's more worthy. So for the rest of the turn, he goes ahead and drops his, after I take out his space unit, he goes ahead and drops the Death Stormtrooper, and I put down a 7th Fleet Defender to put more units in space. Because where he's putting more things, doesn't seem to have much stuff in space. I'm just trying to go ahead and just keep the... just go in the space, go for that way, avoid the ground, because every time I put anything in ground, he's just trading with it, take it out, control my board, keep things out so you can start getting this bigger, badder things when he draws into them. So I'm deciding to go in a different arena, stick to the other side, and avoid him just taking out my units. So here he goes ahead and pays 7 for Darth Vader. So once again, like I said, if I went into space, he'd just be able to take it out with Vader and stuff. So to avoid that, space is a better route, and also I have the Fet's Fire Spray, which can push for quite a big amount of damage, and also my 7th Fleet Defender, which is then protected. And I think we did get a glance, he does have an Overwhelm Barrage, so that is something that's a bit scary. But he hasn't used it because he just get 5 damage, which would take out my Fet's Fire Spray, but wouldn't do anything to the Fleet Defender. So instead of that, setting up more things on board. So here he gets out the client from Vader, so uses the Vader's effect to hit the client out, to play out for free, so that's annoying. Yeah, I think he's forgot to put shield on. I think he's going to do it now. And then I go ahead and play my Cartel Spacer to rest his Death Stormtrooper, so he can't swing with it, to avoid a little bit of chip damage, and also put more things to space. And here he uses the last resource to go ahead and put an Iron Enforcer out, rather than put a shield on anything like Vader, which doesn't really matter, because like shields make it hard to take out, but like I can always bounce things. You don't want to put on big things that can just bounce. So here I'm just going to go swing some damage, so I'm going to swing Fet's Fire Spray and my 7th Fleet Defender to do another, 8 damage to his base. And then fall on to take out his Iron Enforcer, draw more cards, take out a unit from his board, and then use New Adventure to bounce back Fet's Fire Spray, Wood Note, I take essentially healing all the damage off it, put it back down and swinging for it again. So now he's in range of death, so he's now down to 24 health. So now he's got to think about it. I've got all these space units he needs to deal with, and I've got a ground unit as well. So I've got my 7th Fleet Defender, which with a Surprise Strike, that's game. And I've got at least it being there as a shielded unit, so you're saying he's going to have a hard time dealing with, unless he can insta-kill it. And I've got every unit that I can do swing a little bit of damage with, and then have the 7th Fleet Defender to attack and finish off because it's protected. And I've also got, like enough damage on board to take it out, so he's going to go ahead and straight away over on Barrage, the swing, put 7 damage out, so he's going to take out my Fet's Fire Spray because it's the biggest thing that can attack, and also go ahead and take the shield off my other unit. And here I'm just going to Hotshot Blaster because he's exactly 6 health remaining, and Forlorn has 4 power and we'll gain 2 from this, attack straight away. So I just go, rather than just, I didn't have the Surprise Strike, so rather than do that, I'm just going to go ahead and just go with the least actions to then go ahead and take out go for game. So that's it. I took the win. Very last game against Sam, just showing all the options we've got, like things like Zuck and stuff, and just discussing about like what would happen. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. That was the last round, and look forward to next time when we have some more gameplay. Bye for now.
Like a boss.